Hello guys, welcome again. In this Zephyr for Jira tutorial, we are going to learn how you can import the test cases from Excel sheet within Jira. So let's get started, and I'll move to the Scrum project within Jira Cloud. Now please note that this is Jira Cloud instance that I'm going to demo. For Jira server version, the concept still remains same, but you might have to follow with different steps. So I'll cover what all import possibilities are there to import the test cases from the Excel sheet within Jira, and then like you can correlate accordingly if it is a cloud version or the server version. Most probably once I am working on the server version, I'll try to create another video on importing the test cases on the server version as well, so that it is handy for you to use in your projects. So at this point, I'll cover this cloud project or the cloud Jira instance, and here I am in the classic Scrum project, which is one of the projects that I created. And in order to import the test cases from Excel file, we need to go to the Zephyr section here, and in the Zephyr section you will see that we have covered until searching the test cases. Now in order to import the test cases, I'll simply click on import tests, and I'll walk you through what all options are available for importing test cases, and then we'll go ahead and demo the import option, right? So this is the import or the internal import that is available within Zephyr for Jira when you install the plugin. So this is the internal importer that is available, and this is the first window of the internal importer. Okay, so let me open this documentation page, and I'll explain you what all options are available there. So documentation, official documentation is the best starting point to basically start learning any tool. So internal importer is what we are looking at, but there are other options to import test cases as well. For example, the external importer, or if I go to the external importer, you will see that a Zephyr importing tool or the utility that is there. So Zephyr for Jira tests importer utility, which is if I click on this, it is ZFJ importer utility, right? So this is the external importer that you can use as well, but because I am on the Jira Cloud version, this will suffice my case. I can use internal import or internal importer and can import the test cases, right? So these are the two options. Just keep in mind in terms of interview questions and all, you can answer that yes, there is a ZFJ utility that I can use, or there is Jira importers plugin as well, which is also available. With these two are the external importers, and internal importer is what we are going to look into, right? So here, if you see on this particular page, you have the option to choose the file. So in this case, we'll be choosing the Excel file, and then there is an option to choose the existing configuration, which I'll explain all in the detail. Prior to preparing your Excel file, okay, the first thing is basically to go ahead and check the existing test cases and map your fields that are available in the existing test cases in the Excel sheet accordingly. Okay, so let me open one of the test case and first see what all fields are available on this particular test case, right? So I have this description, test case name field, then I have the description field, then I have, if I go to the test details field, this is BDD test case. Let me open the normal test case, which has the steps, right? So in this case, this is the normal test case, and then this is the description. Then I have the test step, test data, test result, right? And the sequence accordingly. Apart from this, I have other fields and options. So here I have assignee, reporter, and other fields that are available on this particular test case issue type, right? Now when you are preparing your Excel sheet, make sure that you try to correlate whatever fields are available here within your Excel sheet. Let's go ahead and open the Excel sheet, and here I have the file already in the download. So I have prepared a folder, and these are the sample test case files that I have created, or Excel file. Okay, so let me open this sample 2.1 .xlsx. Here you can see that I have created the columns accordingly, right? So the columns are very well defined, and you know, when you are trying to map these columns to the existing fields in your test case, you will be able to identify these columns, right? So for example, test case name, if I go to the here on this particular test case field here, or the issue type, the test case name will be mapped to the user registration or the name of the test case, right? Then I have the description. So I have a column for the name, I have a column for the description in my Excel sheet, right? Then I have another column for the test step, another column for the test data, wherein I'll put all the test data. Then I have another column for the test result. Okay, so I have tried to make these columns very similar to what the values are there or the field names are there on the actual issue type, right? So test step, test data, test result, assignee, reporter. So if you keep them similar to what you are getting here in this particular issue type, then it will be easier for you to map. Okay, so here, for example, if you see I have test step, test data, test result, and labels. So these are the only fields as of now I'm trying to import, and I'm going to demo with these. But in case you want to have more fields, for example assignee and all, you can anyways add those columns further as per the values that are available here, right? And then basically say for example I want to add story points as well. So simply in the Excel sheet, add a column for story points and provide the values in the story points column in the particular issue, right? And that field will also get imported. Okay, so this is all about the preparation of the file. So if I open this particular file, you can see the name, test case name I have provided, right? So these are all headings which we will ignore while importing. Okay, because we don't want to import the first row. We'll start from second row, because second row is the test case that we are trying to import. This is the test case description. These are the test steps and the test data, if any, the result, and I am adding the labels to these particular test case. Now these 4 rows here are one test case. Then second test case starts from row 6, and this is how the test case will be added, right? So in actual scenario, say for example you are trying to add the test cases from your Excel sheet, you will prepare the Excel sheet similarly, and whatever fields you want to import, you add those into this particular Excel sheet, save it, and then we'll start the import, right? So I want to highlight one more thing in preparation of this particular Excel sheet is basically your first row. If you see here is the test case, right? So all the details, so name, description goes in here, then all the test cases or the test steps for that particular test case go further, so you can number them there. So depending on how many test steps a particular test case has, those many numbers, and these all rows will be empty here or blank. The next test case will start after all the steps of first test case have been completed here, right? So these test steps are being added. Then in the test data, if there is any data, you put the data, otherwise you can leave these columns or the cells blank. Similarly in the test result and in the labels and assignee, so these labels and assignee are specific to the test case, right? So you no need to add these labels for each and every step. So even with the first step, if you are the first row for a particular test case, you add these particular values, right? So you have to follow this particular format, and then the import will be perfectly fine. Once the new test case start, you add the test case name for the new test case description and follow the same process. So you can just copy and paste and keep changing the steps and the description and the name of the test cases and prepare your Excel file. So let me close this and let's start the demo of import. So let me go back to the project where I want to import. So because this is the internal importer, I'll go to the project where I want to import these particular test case. So I'll go to the classic Scrum project. Now from this project, I'll go to the Zephyr section here, go to the import tests, and here you'll have import tests into the project that you have chosen. and now we have to simply choose the file that we have created. So Excel source file, I'll choose it, and let me go to that particular folder. I'll choose the sample 21 file, and so once the file is selected, you can simply click on next. Right, so we have to start from row number 2 because row number 1 is our heading. So I'll simply change it to row number 2 in Excel. And if you want to import all sheets that are available in your Excel sheet, then simply select import all sheet. If you want to import the selected sheet, then you select the selected and provide the name of the sheet that you have provided. So for example, test case or sheet 1 or sheet 2, whatever. So I'll leave it as import all sheets. Okay. And then it will ask for the discriminator. So discriminator, there are many options. So empty row, ID change, or test case name change. So in this case, if I go to that particular folder, open this particular file, you will see the discriminator that I am going to choose after the first test case ends is the second test case, which is the test case name change, right? So this is the second test. So I'll use test case name change in this particular case, right? So I'll say test case name change and then click on next. Now you have to do the mapping. So once you are in the mapping field, you have to basically map the Jira Zephyr fields that are available there. So these are the fields that are available for the Zephyr and Jira. And then in the right hand side, these are the fields that you have specified or you want to map basically to the fields in the Jira. So these are the fields that are available in our column of the Excel test case importer, right? So these are the 6 or 7 columns that we have, right? So we have test case name, description, then hash for the numbering, step, data, test result, and labels, right? So these are the 7 values that are available that we have to map in this particular case. So map, as we have seen, name will map with the test case name, right? And then step will map with test step, right? Then we'll map the test data with the test data. And that's the reason, like keeping the columns similar to what you have in the fields helps you to map them very easily, right? So you can map step to the test step, test data to test data, result to test result. Okay. And then we have map name to name. Then we have the labels. We'll map the labels to the labels. And then we'll map the description to the test case description, right? So once we have mapped all the fields here, now you can click on next. So once you are done with the mapping, you can validate the mapping, whether the mapping is perfectly fine. So I'll click on validate and it will show you that the 2 issues will be created correctly. Once you get this green tick, you can simply click on begin import. Prior to that, if you want to save this configuration, so that next time you don't have to map these columns again and again, click on save the configuration and it will download ZFZ import config JSON file that we can use in the next time when we are trying to import. So I have downloaded it already, and then I can click on begin import. And once the import starts, once the import will be successful, you will get the green successful message that import has been successful, right? So you can see 2 issues have been imported successfully. If you want to start another import, you can click on begin another import. Now we don't want to start another import at the moment. We want to see that the import has been successful. So I'll go to the search tests, and in the search tests you can see that these 2 issues 46 and 47 are the issues that got imported just now. So if I click on user registration, and here you will see that the label Google tests has been added, the name, the description, and then if I click on the test case details, you will see that all the 4 steps have been added along with the test data, right, that we have in the Excel sheet. So if I open the Excel sheet, you will see user registration using Google account, the description, these 4 steps along with the test data. So test data URL, result, and labels have been added. So for this particular test case, the label has added, all the steps have been added, and the test case has been imported successfully. Now say for example, I want to update this particular Excel sheet and I want to have the assignee as well. Okay, so in that particular case, what you need to do is you need to first get the ID of a person whom you want to assign, right? So if I click on this assignee at the moment, I will get Rcv Tutorials, right? This is the name of the assignee. But when we are trying to import in Jira Cloud and want to have the assignee as the value in the Excel sheet, then we have to get the ID from the Jira admin. So I'll explain you how you can get it, but similar is the case, you know, for few other fields as well, but I'll explain with assignee. So if you are having issues by providing the name of the field or the value when trying to import, you simply go ahead and add the assignee in that particular case. So let me first find out how you can get the assignee of this Rcv Tutorial User. Okay, so how you will get it? So simply go to the this administration section. Okay, so in the administration section, once you are Jira administrator, go to the user management, and in the user management, if you will go to the particular user, I'll show you how you can get the ID. So in the users here, if I want to get the ID for this particular, say for example, Rcv Tutorials itself, once I'll click on it, the front part of after this user slash is the ID for this particular user. Okay, so if I want to have this test case that is being imported assigned to this particular user, I'll copy this, and then in this particular sheet, what I'll do is I'll simply add the field assignee, and then in the assignee I'll provide the ID of the user who will be the assignee. Okay, so I have added another column there. Let me format it, and then I'll simply format the whole table. I'll save it, and now if I want to import these test case again, let me change these test case as well a little bit so that we can identify that these are other test case. So I have added ID in front of the test case name. So let me close it, and now if I go back to the same project, let's go to the same project, and in the classic Scrum project, let's try to import the test cases again, which assign these test cases after importing to a particular user that we have chosen into the Excel file. Okay, so now I'll go to the Zephyr, and this time we'll use the importer config. Okay, so we'll use the importer config. So let me open the folder where it is. So it is in the ZFZ import .1.json. Okay, so I'll use that. So go to the import tests, and in the import tests, we'll again choose the file that we want to import. So this time we have updated this Excel with the assignee as well. I have chosen that particular file. I'll use the existing configuration. Okay, I'll choose the file, and in the existing configuration I'll use this JSON file, okay, that I have downloaded. Now once I'll click on next, you will see that it already has those configuration. It started from row number 2. I don't have to change it again. I'll go next, and it will automatically, this time it will have these fields mapped automatically. So these are the configuration that got saved. Now because we added the assignee field as well this time, so we'll map the assignee again, right? So in the drop down, now you'll see assignee is available. This is coming from the Excel, the updated Excel. Okay, so I have chosen the assignee. I'll go next, I'll validate again, and you will see the green tick here. 2 issues will be created correctly. I'll click on begin import. So once the import will be successful, the 2 test cases will be added and assigned to a particular user. So you can see 2 issues have been imported successfully. Let's go back to the search tests and see those tests are available now. Okay, so you can see these 2 test cases have the ID in front, which I have updated, and here you can see assignee is available now for these 2 test cases, right? Because when we try to import, we added the assignee into the Excel file as well. If I go or open these test cases, all other details will be exactly similar. So it has the label, it has the description, the test case name, if I go to the details, it has all the steps that we have provided into the test case in the Excel file, right? So this is brief introduction or the end-to-end demo how you will import the test cases from Excel file into Jira Zephyr. Okay, key thing to remember here is that you try to prepare first, you see what is the template of your test case, what all fields are available on that particular template, which is this particular template, and then try to map the Excel sheet. So if I open this Excel sheet and I will minimize it, so try to map the column names as close as you can with the field name. So for example, test case name, I know that this is the name. Description, I know this is the description, right? Test step, I know this test step will be mapped to this test step here. Okay, so as closely as you will be able to map and follow the steps that have been explained here in this particular tutorial, importing test case in Zephyr Jira is really a breeze and not a problem at all. Okay, in case you are having issues with some of the fields, for example, I have explained about the assignee and it's not able to identify the name that you will provide in the sheet, it will provide you the error, then you have to find the actual ID. Okay, so similar might be the case with the sprints as well, right? So sprint is also an ID or stored as an ID internally in Jira, so you might have to provide the actual sprint ID and not the actual name of the sprint, right? So these are some of the small things that you need to remember, but otherwise importing test case, as we have seen, is really easy and simple process in Zephyr for Jira. So that's all for this tutorial. Hope you like it, hope it was helpful. Please do share and subscribe, and thank you for watching.